Hello, happy people, and welcome to your Moment of Zed, the YouTube channel dedicated to the most beautiful car in the world, the BMW Z3, or as the folks in Kelowna, British Columbia call it, the Z3. I'm Mark, and today we're picking up our next step in the detailing process of the Z3, and we're here with Yvan Lacroix again from DIY Detailing, and today we are going to be polishing and ceramic coating the car. In the previous video, we did a whole bunch of stuff to get it as clean as it's ever been with DIY Detailing's awesome products, and now we're going to do these final two steps. Before we get to that, though, we have a Zed of the Week. And today we have Casper from the Netherlands with his 2.8-liter 5-speed roadster with 170,000 kilometers. Now, Casper bought this about 6 months ago. He's a young man, only 19 years old. Always nice to see young guys get into the hobby. He put the silver grills back on. They were black when he bought it. He's put in new spark plugs, a new cooling fan, a new clutch, and new Bilstein shocks. Very nice.
Mark, first step in polishing is a clean, damp pad.
Okay.
So we have the rinseless wash from our bucket, just put in here. We got several sprays on the pad, just to get it nice and damp. And then from there, we use the pad washer. So this surface has these little bumps in it.
Okay.
And what that does is it forces the pad up and down, and it forces the liquid in and out of the pad.
All right.
So we just run it at a low speed over top of this. Then we lift it up a 1/4 inch, bring it to full speed, spin it for a few seconds.
Okay.
And then we're ready to add the polish. Now, most polishes you've seen in the past come in a bottle.
Yep.
That you put a couple of drops on the pad.
Yep.
Ours is very different. Comes in a spray. So we get the pad spinning. One spray on the pad is all we use.
That's it.
That's it.
Wow.
Now, off camera, you said you'd never polished before.
Not with a machine. Obviously,
Okay.
I've done it with my hand, which
Yeah.
is gets to you after a while. Maybe
Yeah.
not on a little car, but on a big car.
Yeah. And you mentioned you're a little nervous about this.
Yeah, I always feel like I'm going to sand all the paint off. I know I won't, but
Yeah.
it feels that way.
Okay. Well, we'll get you over those nerves in about 10 seconds.
Okay.
So we put the machine on the surface to start.
Yep.
We have it set at speed 2.
Speed 2. How many speeds are on that, by the way?
6 speeds.
6 speeds.
We use speed 2 or 3 for polishing. Speed 6 is just for wringing out the pad.
Okay.
If it were up to me, it would be a 2-speed machine, work and wring out the pad. But it's actually more expensive to have a 2-speed switch than it is to have the variable speed.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Manufacturing the way it is. Well, first of all, you'll notice I've got a lot of pressure on the machine.
Yeah, not at all.
Yeah. Well, you can control it with 1 or 2 fingers. It's not that hard to control.
Okay.
All we're doing is going left to right with a 50% overlap. And go right over the. Okay. And then half it up, left to right, and go up and down with a 50% overlap again. You want to work a section no wider than your shoulder. All right? Left to right, with a 50% overlap.
Well, I can see the difference already. That's amazing.
And then we take 2 towels to wipe off the polish residue.
Okay.
A damp towel,
All right.
and it's dampened with the rinseless wash. Same thing that we use to wash it.
Okay, so we've been using that a lot, basically every step.
Right. And the rinseless wash, what it does, the surfactants in it, break down the polishing oils, making it a lot easier than to bring to a shine.
Okay, so this is our final buff, something I would do by hand with my old-fashioned paste wax.
Yeah. And now we've removed the wax that you have on the surface, or had on the surface.
Yep.
At the same time, gotten rid of some of the little love marks. Your paint is in great shape. There's no deep scratches. There's no big defects. There's a few places where paint is missing, but polishing is not going to remove or not going to replace that
It
paint.
will not.
No. And then from there, just do the whole car.
Okay.
We can do this in direct sunlight, which we are today. Parts of the car.
Part of it, yeah. We're kind of half in, half out.
Yeah. So we can do this in direct sunlight. You can do it in the shade. You can do it in the garage. It really doesn't matter. We can wipe off as we go or wipe off the whole car when we're done. It's really up to you.
So I probably can't screw this up.
You can, but you'd have to think.
I'd have to
about
work.
how
I'd
do
have to work at
Yeah.
it. Okay, I'll
Yeah.
try not to.
it. Right. So grab a machine.
Yep.
We have two of them. I'll do
Okay.
one side. You do the other.
All right.
Up and down. Yep. 50% overlap. We had a mark here. That's why I'm spending a little more time. Looks like a bird dropping. It sat there for a while.
Yep, probably, unfortunately.
Yep.
Which, of course, was before my ownership. Now, I've done 2 sections at this point. Should I go ahead and take the rags and go, or the towels and go at them?
Yeah, you can.
Okay. All right, so we start out with the damp towel.
Yep.
Okay. And we're just going.
No pressure. You're just getting it damp. That's all you're worried about.
All right.
And what that does is, like I said, it breaks down the oils from the polish.
Just once?
Yep.
Okay.
And then go over it with the dry towel.
All right. Yeah, and I can already tell that that's nice and smooth.
Yeah.
That's really smooth. And it looks amazing. And I can tell already the difference in my car. Which again, my paint was pretty nice, but
Yeah. We're just enhancing your paint.
yep.
Detailers talk a lot about paint correction, which to me is not a great word. Correction is something that happens in a prison. It's not something, not something you should be doing to your paint. But a paint enhancement, basically we're taking off the little dead layer of paint that's there, the oxidation,
Yep.
brightening it up, at the same time getting rid of the little, the micro swirls that are there from washing and life, and just giving a nice glossy, clean surface to attach the coating to.
Okay. And one thing I like about your products is they're reasonably priced to begin with, but you don't really have to use a lot of any of them
No,
to get the work done.
the less you use, the better.
Yep.
Now your pad may sometimes get dark like this. This is actually from the molding around the windshield, picking up the oxidation. The pad is clean, it's just stained, nothing to worry about.
Right.
Right here there's a scuff mark. It's just a little... Right here there's a scuff mark, and you can just use a little more polish on here to brighten it up. We're not trying to remove it completely because every time you're polishing, you're actually removing clear coat. Not something we want to do, but at the same time, I want to give that a little more life.
How often would you do this?
Ideally, once in the lifetime of the car.
Really?
Yeah.
That's all.
Every time we're polishing, we're removing clear coat.
Right.
So every time you polish, you're thinning the clear coat. We don't want to thin the clear coat.
Sure.
If at all possible.
Significantly.
Yeah.
Right.
With proper wash technique, you wouldn't need to do this again.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yep.
And when you put the coating,
Yeah, and with the ceramic coating, it just makes it even better. The ceramic coating, once it's on the surface, you'll want to ceramic coat everything in your life. It just makes it so much easier to clean and maintain.
Okay.
So that scuff mark is now gone. We're looking very confident with that polisher mark.
Thank you very much. I feel confident. Yeah, it's easy. There's no.
Yeah,
Nothing really to it.
No.
Yeah, and your machine's nice. It's not leaving crazy swirl marks. It's not doing anything that makes me think, gosh, I'm doing something wrong. So it's very nice.
Excellent.
Yep.
So we're all done polishing.
Yep.
Time to wipe off the residue.
Yeah.
And the next step is coming. So Mark, what did you think of using the tools for polishing?
It was very easy. Again, I was a little nervous about the polishing, worried about leaving swirl marks or whatever, but it was simple, easy to do.
Excellent. That's what we want. We like simple. We like easy. We like things to be good. And what do you think of the look of the car now?
It looks so much better. A lot of the rub marks and things that were there are gone.
Yep.
And just the overall glow is huge. It really looks great.
We're about to improve it. Now, normally we would do a panel prep step, which is a solvent alcohol mix surfactants to remove any oils or greases from the surface.
Okay.
But we have a product called Adhesion Promoter Polish. It works even better, and it actually brightens the paint up a little more. You'll see a little more of your metallic. It actually swells the paint slightly. Not, we're not going to make the paint a 1/4 inch thick.
Okay.
But it just swells it maybe half a micron to a micron. But it also opens up the pores to absorb the coating much better.
Okay.
The other aspect of that, we're in direct sunlight. Panel prep in direct sunlight isn't exactly easy to do.
Yeah.
Because of the fast evaporation. Whereas the adhesion promoter polish doesn't make a difference. We can do it in direct sunlight, let it sit for half a day if we want to, and it'll still wipe off easily.
Okay.
So very simple product process to do. Let's do it.
Okay, let's go.
Yep. And contrary to the polishing where we're using a damp pad and cleaning the pad all the time, this we're using a dry pad,
Okay.
and we're not going to clean it.
All right.
The surface is extremely clean as it is. We've washed it, we've decontaminated, we've done all these steps, we've polished. It's clean, we don't need to worry about that.
All right.
And this has a very, very little amount of abrasive, not enough to correct the paint or make it better, but just enough to deep clean the paint. And that's the goal of this. And we wipe it off with a dry towel, not with a damp towel.
All right.
So contrary to what we did before, but very simple to use. And the less of this you use, the better. So I'm going to put 3 little drops on here.
Okay, about 3 dime-sized spots.
Oh, you've got small dimes here.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
Pea-sized drops.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's all we need to do. And I won't add any more to the pad until I'm not leaving anything on the surface.
All right.
And for this, we can do it in direct sunlight. It's not a concern. You'll see that it wipes off super easy. One of the reasons we're wearing gloves as well.
Yep.
When you're working with chemicals, it's always good to wear gloves. The other thing is, we don't want our body oils on the paint at this point.
All right.
So even if you didn't wear gloves up to this point, at this point, please start wearing gloves.
All right.
But you should always wear gloves when dealing with
I always say that, and I never do, but I am today.
Yeah, and you can see our gloves. They're red.
Yes.
And unlike the polishing we did before, we don't need to do 3 or 4 passes. As long as I'm getting it on the surface, that's all I'm concerned. So no pressure on the machine.
Again, this is your machine?
No, this is one we actually bought off Amazon.
Oh, okay.
It's called a Fendo. It's actually a sander.
Okay.
But it works great for this purpose, and it's a nice, smooth, quiet machine.
Yeah, it is. It's very quiet.
That's exactly what we needed to do. So, but you could actually use a little random orbital sander and do the same thing. You go to Harbor Freight, pick one up for $15.
Sure.
It'll do the job.
Now I notice you're just getting it on there. You're not doing 3 passes, 4 passes, or whatever.
Yeah, we just need to get it on the surface.
All right. And again, you're not worried about getting it off right away.
We could immediately wipe it off or wait a day if we wanted to.
Okay.
It doesn't harden or set up.
Yeah, I think that's the thing about the old school waxes and stuff. If you went at it, left a bunch of swirl marks, and God help you, if you couldn't get back to it immediately, that was it. You were done.
Yeah,
your paint was.
You were having a very bad day at that point.
Exactly. All right, so again, you're doing the glass with this as well.
Yep, and you can start wiping this off.
Okay, great. Did you do the whole hood? I can't remember.
Yes, I did.
Okay, great.
Down to the gills.
All right. And just circular patterns?
Circular, straight, triangle,
Doesn't matter.
squares.
Okay. And I think that's what I like best about your products, or one of the things I like best about it is I don't have to be too crazy about, you know, if I accidentally wipe straight, wiping swirls, whatever it is, it's fine.
Yeah, and people always assume that swirls are caused by wiping in circular motions.
Yes.
They're not. Swirls are actually a collection of straight lines. We see it as a swirl because the sun is a pinpoint of light.
Yes.
If we had a line of light, you would see all the individual lines that comprise a swirl.
Interesting.
So the reason I gave you 2 towels was to have one in each hand. But...
You gotta spell it out for me.
yeah, not a
I'm
problem.
a simple man.
Next step in the process, the ceramic coating.
Okay.
So you've got 2 towels.
Got 2 towels.
The green one is the first wipe,
Okay.
and the second one is an insurance towel, just to make sure you didn't leave anything behind.
Okay.
In the box, we have our 5-year ceramic coating and our applicator.
Now that's not much coating.
This is enough to do maybe 3 of these.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it doesn't take a lot. to do.
Okay.
Let me just deposit the box for a second here.
Yep.
So applying a coating is actually easier than applying a wax. People stress out that a ceramic coating is this hard, difficult thing to do. It's super easy.
Okay, because that's what I thought.
Yeah.
When you said, hey, let's ceramic coat this together, I was
Yeah.
like, okay, as long as he's here, I'm fine.
Yeah.
But you don't need to be here.
No, even
All
if I
right.
wasn't here, you could do this.
Okay.
Very simple. So we're going to start with maybe 10 or 12 drops on the applicator pad.
Okay.
And we don't want to drop from up here. We actually want to put it up against the pad.
So those are literally like pinpoints, basically. All right.
So now we have a little on the pad.
Yep.
And I always like to close off the
Oh,
bottle.
yeah, definitely.
Our bottles are aluminum, so if it gets dropped, it's not going to shatter. But at the same time, it's just
You
safer.
don't want to waste it.
Yeah.
All right.
We start, and I have way too much on my applicator. This is by design, because I want to spread it on the applicator as much as I'm spreading it on the paint.
Okay.
And normally we would box in a section
Yep.
and then fill in with circular motions. But since this is the first section we're doing it the opposite, again, to spread it on the applicator.
Okay.
I'm starting in the center, and I'm working in a circular motion.
All right. So now you can see it,
Yeah, you can see
which
it.
is good because it's nice to be seen, so you know you're getting it on everything.
Right, now, depending on the color, your color, we can see it a little bit.
It's evaporating pretty quickly.
Yeah,
too.
so we have that, looks like a oil slick on water or a rainbow look.
All right. Yep.
And when 50% of that is cleared up,
Yeah.
which it is now,
Okay.
that's where you take the green towel first
Yep.
and lightly go over the surface, so no pressure. And basically what you're doing is spreading it out even further.
Okay.
So the solvent has evaporated away,
Yep.
and the excess coating that's on the surface, you're spreading it out.
Okay. And again, I'm just
Yeah.
motion doesn't really matter.
No, and you can have a little more vigor in your
Okay. Sounds
motions.
good.
Yep.
All right. There we go. And you went all the way down.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you cross the line
No.
here? Okay.
Now, yes, I did cross the line just a little bit.
Well, yeah, I'll get it. But you
so-
didn't go down
No.
further.
So basically, I always color outside the lines.
All right.
And when you're leveling, you're also coloring outside the lines.
Should I be flipping the towel? Or?
No, not necessary, but you
Okay.
can flip, and that was a beautiful flip, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And then from there, you go over it with the other towel, just a
Okay.
quick wipe,
Yep.
and you'll just feel how slick and smooth the paint is.
Oh yeah, that's great. Even pressing down hard, it just goes right over.
Yeah. And you shouldn't be pressing.
it.
No pressure is the right pressure.
No pressure is the right pressure. Okay.
And then now I'm gonna box in this section,
Okay.
get all the gills.
So yeah, I really felt like ceramic coating was this huge deal.
Yeah,
It is not.
no. We've been doing this, what, 3 hours at most?
Yeah, well, our total here so far is right about at 3 hours, and that's with filming and talking and doing all the other things our
Yeah.
folks at home won't be doing.
No.
Okay, so that's about 50% evaporated.
Yeah, so the whole side of the hood, and I went down around
around the gills.
around the kidneys as well.
Yep.
Now, when you're working as a team,
Yeah.
you don't want to get too far ahead of the person leveling,
Sure.
and always announce what you're doing.
Okay.
And if you're doing this by yourself, do a section, level it, do the next section, level it. You
Right.
don't need to worry about the pad drying off in between, unless you're taking an hour to do a section.
Fair enough.
And I'm going back over the side that we already did just a little bit,
Sure.
just to make sure that we're not leaving anything undone. No pressure on the applicator. I'm just gliding it along the surface.
Okay.
So the bulge of the hood is done.
All right. Again, this is another step where if you're sweating, then you're doing it way too much.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, this is should be the fun, relaxing part of the detail.
Okay.
The no stress. I'm just putting the coating on, having fun, making my paint glossy and shiny.
Yeah. Now, what is this going to do for me? You said it's a 5-year coating.
Yeah.
Okay, so 3 years down the road, what is this still doing for me?
Well, actually, it can last the lifetime of the car if you maintain it properly.
Okay.
You need to go a little further, Mark. I went to about
All right.
here.
Yep. Yep. Gotcha.
Good. Yeah. A properly maintained coating is going to last the lifetime of the coating. And by properly maintaining, it's simply keeping it clean. So washing it every week or two.
Yep.
And when you feel that it's contaminated, decontaminate it.
Okay.
It's contamination that breaks down coatings over time, and it's also fracturing, which means if you think of the desert floor, you get it wet, it's a nice smooth surface.
Yep.
And then as it dries out, it fractures.
Yeah.
Coatings, or older generations of coatings, used to fracture. We have two things in ours that prevents or slows down that fracturing. One of them is silicon nitride, and the other one is silicon carbide. The two combined make it so that the coating can almost not fracture.
Okay.
So that's why they last a long time. And the only way to remove the coating is through abrasion. So as long as you don't abrade it, you're not removing the coating.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I like this because this is fast, and I felt that this was going to be the step that was going to be the longest, and it isn't at all.
No. No, there's a lot of misconceptions about ceramic coating. Now, the older ceramic coatings, yes, they were a chore to apply, and you couldn't do it outside, and there was all sorts of restrictions to applying a coating. Modern coatings, not a problem.
Okay. Now, you said at your company you've got guys that are doing R&D.
Yes.
So you're always trying to improve what you're doing, I assume.
Yeah. Maybe by the time this video comes out, we'll actually be on our second generation of coatings.
Interesting.
So they're coming soon. We're just waiting on a few raw materials to get that done. So in our lineup, we've got 3 ceramic coatings. We have a 3-year, a 5-year, and an 8-year.
Uh-huh.
The 3-year contains graphene oxide,
Yes.
and the graphene oxide helps to reduce water spotting. Okay. It's not going to eliminate it, but it helps counter water spots. The 5-year is our glossiest coating.
Okay.
And since this is a car that's well maintained, garage kept, and you can benefit from some gloss, so that's why we chose the 5-year on this one.
Okay.
The 8-year is our most durable coating, but it's also the one that is most chemically resistant, etc. So for a daily driver that sits outside, that's the coating you want to use.
Okay.
And for your first time wiping off ceramic coating, you've done a fabulous job.
Well, thank you.
I don't see any high spots anywhere. High spots are an excess of ceramic coating.
Yep.
And they normally are found like around the base of the mirror, the intersection of the A pillar to the hood and the door. And you've done a great job.
Great.
Just do a little walk around inspection to make sure there's none of those areas that were missed.
Yeah, let me know.
Like I say, so far so good. So you're very methodical in your leveling of the coating. With that, we're done.
Amazing. That was super easy. What did that take us? A half an hour start to finish? I mean, there's two
Yeah.
of us.
Yeah.
So maybe if there were one of us, it would take 45 minutes. But
Yeah, it's not much
Yeah.
longer doing it yourself.
no, this was it's a small car, but
Yep.
and boy, it looks good. It looks great.
And from start to finish, we're not 3 hours in from when we started
no,
washing the
we're,
car.
we're really not. I
Yeah.
mean, starting from scratch, I think someone could do this whole process in 2.5 hours, 3 hours,
Yep.
and you've done basically what you need to do to the car's finish for really years to come.
Exactly.
And boy, let me tell you, the car has just never looked better. Shiny, glossy, a mirror-like reflection. A few days after we filmed this, it rained. The water sheeted right off of it. Nice beating. The windows shed water better. Everything's just nicer, as I mentioned a couple times. And he mentioned a lot of scuff marks are gone. Just a really, really nice finish. And I look forward to hopefully maintaining it into the future. So Ivan, we've got the ceramic coating done as our final step. Car looks amazing. I want to thank you so much for coming out with your
My
lovely
pleasure.
wife. It's been awesome and it's been very easy. I appreciate that. Now, folks, I'm going to leave links to all of Ivan's stuff with DIY detailing in the description, of course. Really good company, super nice guy. He's got a great team with him. So, as always, if you found this content valuable, please crush that like button. And until next time, remember, friends don't let friends drive boring.